hopefully. There is the Open Series. Would recommend watching that, for sure. And, of course, the Elite stream is taking its sweet time. See if it's up on the Discord. There it is. So, the stream's up, chat's up, and the audio is working as it should. Thank you very much, Ferrari Pro, for that piece of information. I'll mention that in a few moments. So, with everything running as it should be, hello and welcome everyone to round 14 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event. We're back, and this time we're at Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. This race will conclude the first week at this brand new racetrack for us here on Race Spec Esports. The 4.9 kilometer 19-turn circuit was built in 1950, hosted its first Formula One championship race in 1980, and is generally known as one of the most historically significant racetracks in the world. It's a tight, fast, old-fashioned circuit with only a single DRS zone down the pit straight, heading into the braking zone of Variante Tamburello. One of the major concerns about the circuit are the curbs. Naturally, in F1 2021, curbs tend to seriously unsettle the car. Around a circuit like this, where you have a lot of chicanes, tight corners, you really do have to use a lot of the curbs. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers deal with sections such as Tamburello and Acqua Minerale that Jax just went through there, in both qualifying and in the race. Although I've seen some races here, this race is still a big unknown. I'm sure the drivers will feel the same, and probably some of you watching at home as well. But regardless of what we may witness, hopefully we all get to enjoy a good race. But first, a little bit of news from the past few weeks. Now, we didn't have any events last week. We had an off week, so we could recharge our batteries ready for this race weekend here at Imola. I'm pleased to report from Baku there was no incident reports, so there weren't any penalties handed out by the stewards, so the results stand. The man on screen right here, Jax, he is our Pacific Elite Series Drivers Champion. Wrapped it up last fortnight in Baku. He's got a 73-point lead over iContrast, who isn't present here tonight. ACW currently occupies third, and he's in a tight battle with Plebs in P4. Only 3 points separating the two drivers at this current moment. Hiller's currently P5, followed by Pump 46, then G4 Zach. Ferrari Pro in P8 is at cushion 9th, and BPV8 rounding out the top 10. In the Constructors, it's a pretty tight fight at the top. Aston Martin are leading on 384 points, followed by Alpine on 378. Now, mathematically, Aston Martin could have wrapped up the Constructors' Championship here at Imola. It would have been quite a stretch. They would have had to outscore Alpine by 49 points in order to wrap up the championship. But neither Aston Martin is here. We don't have G4 Zach, and we don't have iContrast, which isn't great. But Alpine won't be able to wrap up the Constructors' Championship here. It will, dearie me, that's a lot of lag. It will go down to the final round then in Brazil. McLaren are third, followed by AlphaTauri. They're in a tight battle with Mercedes, followed by Haas, Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams, and Alfa Romeo. Completes the Constructors' table. With everything out of the way, we can now fully focus on qualifying. But, as you mentioned, Ferrari Pro, very first comment in the stream. So we'll have dry conditions in both sessions. So a dry qualifying and a dry race. Typically that leads to better racing, I tend to find. Intermediate and wet weather racing isn't particularly interesting to watch, as drivers don't push to the limit. I see as well, Ferrari Pro, you've got technical issues on your end with your pedals. That's never good. Hopefully they won't hinder you too much in this race. Rather a disappointing field, but it's quite a common trend as of late. Only 12 cars here tonight as Ples jumps up to P2. In Pacific Tier 1 we had 13. And in the America Series I think we had 15, maybe 16? I can't quite remember. The attendance has been rather poor after the week break we've had. Hopefully the numbers will bump up again at the final round at Interlagos. Typically Interlagos is a well-received racetrack. Oh, that's a lot of lag there. See pump moving a lot. I don't know of too many people that dislike Interlagos, so hopefully we get a nice healthy attendance for that. Here at Imola though, there are quite a few difficult parts of the circuit that tend to catch a lot of drivers out. As I saw in the America Series, particularly at Acqua Minerale, drivers really struggling to find traction. And these fellas aren't using any assist. So they're right on the edge of grip. And if they lose it, well, they've got to do the hard work to try and gather it back up. And that's not easy to do. When these cars lose traction, that's basically it. There's no gathering it back. Be interesting to see how these drivers fare, considering their situation. There's that push coming out of Acqua Minerale, heading towards Variante Alta. Tight chicane, that is turns 14 and 15 on the racetrack. Not really an overtaking opportunity there. It's just too tight of a complex to try and make moves. Down towards turn 17, Ravazza. You have to be very careful on that curve, that outside curve. You don't want to run too wide. Very easy to cop a warning around the final corner, crossing the line. And Izzat jumps to 4th place with a 1 minute 15.131. Punt currently occupying 2nd place with a 14.9. At the moment, head and shoulders above the field is Jax with a 14 flat. Let's see here. Who else? Mikey getting ready to set a flying lap. Same with Ferrari Pro. Roscoe, where are you? You're coming through Variante Villeneuve. Heading towards the mid-phase of the session. But no, we started a bit late as well. Typically we start about 10 minutes earlier, usually. But here in Australia we had the Bathurst 1000 and that went on for some time. And we were all watching that here in Australia. So we pushed the race start back a little bit to accommodate for that. The first driver ready to set a flying lap will be Ferrari Pro, and rather fittingly enough we're going to use him to take you on board on this famous Italian circuit. Down the pit straight, around the final corner, turn 19, crossing the line to begin his flying lap. Heading down towards turn 1, this fast, small left-hander, then down towards the first heavy braking zone of the circuit, turn 2, Variante Tamburello. Turn 3, then turn 4, use as much of the curve as you can, down towards Variante Villeneuve. It's a very fast approach through turn 5, then into turn 6, and then it's a short blast towards the hairpin of turn 7, Tosa. Using all the curve on the inside, not using too much on the outside, could probably afford to use a little bit more. Through turn 8, then into Piratella, turn 9. Very fast corner, very easy to get it wrong. Through turn 10, down the hill in towards Acqua Minerale. Turn 11, then turn 12 and 13. Oh, losing the back end there through turn 12. Managed to gather it back up. Now towards Variante Alta, turns 14 and 15. Riding the curves nicely, using a little bit on the exit. Then down the hill towards the fast right-hand kink of turn 16. And into the heavy braking zone of turn 17, Ravazza. Nice exit out of 17, gets a nice run through 18. Not a great exit though. Too much throttle on the exit, spinning out. There goes Smokey. He's completing a flying lap, goes 9th quickest with the 16.6. Ferrari Pro will go back into the pits. Carried a lot of speed in the mid-corner. Just a bit too much throttle on the exit, car spun out. Very simple thing to do, especially with traction control turned off. Gilles beginning a flying lap, coming through Tamburello, 5th gear, almost 200 kilometers an hour at the apex of turn 3, exiting turn 4. There is Smokey, I believe, off the racetrack, trying to give way to the faster cars. Coming out of Variante Villeneuve is Gilles, up towards Toza, the hairpin. 3rd gear, hits the apex, short shifting to find the traction, using a little bit of the curb on the outside. Again, not using a great deal, but just a little bit. Towards Piratella. 5th gear, short shifting to 6th. Uses a healthy amount of curb down to the hill towards Aqua Minerale. Oh, and ran wide, invalidating his lap. It's a very, very intense complex. Turns 11, 12, and 13. Very easy to get it wrong, as Hill has demonstrated. He'll probably just make a mental note of that and just tell himself to take it a bit easier through the complex. ACW looks like he's on an in-lap pump. He might be on a fly, and Keeg is out of qualifying. He's crashed out at Aqua Minerale. You can see his dot stationary at turn 13, just before the second sector split. I think, no, his car's despawned. So he's our first retirement in this session. We've got just under 7 minutes left as well, so still plenty of time for drivers to set competitive times. The best that Keeg can hope for is a P7 at the moment, with a 1 minute 15.717. Gilles, looks like you're pushing. You're coming towards Aqua Minerale yourself. This time gets it right. Use too much curb. Coming up to the second sector split, crosses it, does a 50 flat to the second sector. Uses all the curb at Variante Alta. There's a Haas right in front, that's Roscoe. Gets out of the way, down the hill, through turn 16, into Ravazza, turn 17. Then turn 18. It's a nice run on the exit. Keeps it to the right-hand side of the circuit, crosses the line. It's P6 for Gilles. A 1 minute 15.084. Pump, he's almost matched his first sector. I do believe he's on a flying lap. Heading through Piratella. See if he can find any time here in the middle sector through Aqua Minerale. Uses a healthy amount of curb on both sides of the circuit. Up towards the first sector split. Clock says he's down by quite a bit, so he'll probably back out. Go back into the pits. Is that you're down a lot as well, so you're on an in-lap. Roscoe though, he's up to the first sector on the medium tyre as well. I think he might be the only driver trying to set times on the mediums. He is. Second sector split says he's up by 4 tenths. Make that half a second. Down the hill towards Ravazza, getting ready to get on the brakes from 300 kilometers an hour down to about 125 at the apex of turn 17. Through turn 18, gets a nice run on the exit, keeps it to the right hand side through turn 19, crosses the control line, improves by 6 tenths. P8 at the moment with a 1 minute 15.623. That's a pretty competitive lap considering he's on the mediums. Smokey getting ready. Waits right until turn 18 to set off on his flying lap. Down the pit straight towards turn 1. Then into the all-important Tamburello chicane. Down to 5th gear, really chucks it in, uses all the curb. Exiting turn 4, up towards Variante Villeneuve. 6th gear through turn 5, through 6, he gets through there relatively cleanly. Through Toza, he's up by 2 tenths of a second in the first sector. Again, not using too much curb on the exit. Through turn 8, and into turn 9, Piratella, 5th gear. Uses a healthy amount of curb on the exit there, down the hill. Through Aqua Minerale. A bit wide, invalidates. Did a similar thing to what Hilles did earlier in qualifying. He'll probably back off and have another go. Let's see. Power sight getting ready. It's coming through Tozer. Plebs coming out. A lot of drivers will be coming out, getting ready to set their final flying laps. Izzat uses all of the track and then some at Villeneuve. Will Jax be coming out to set a final flying lap? I'd love to see him do one flying lap right at the end of the session when the track is at its best. That'll be incredibly quick. Power sight. Getting ready. Current best is a 1 minute 15.9. If he can improve by about a tenth and a half, he can overtake Keeg for P9. See how the Alpine driver fares as he sets off on his flying lap with just over 2 minutes left in qualifying. Down towards Tamburello. 320 kilometers an hour, brings it down to fourth gear, really chucks it in through the chicane using all of the track. Oh, and then some. My goodness, that was close. Roscoe is retired in the pit lane. So he's satisfied with P8. What does the first sector say? Oh, he's down, surely. Yeah, he's backing off. He's backing off. He's going to have another go. Plebs coming through Tamburello. 6th gear, 7th gear, up towards Villeneuve. Slight dab of the brake through Villeneuve, up towards Tozer. He's up by just over a tenth and a half. Coming out of the hairpin, using all of the curve. That's a healthy amount right there. Using the full width of the circuit, really important. Through Piratella. Again, using that curve. You need to. In order to be quick around here, you have to use the full width of the racetrack. Through turns 12 and 13. Now towards Variante Alta, he's up by 2/10. Through the chicane. Nice run on the exit. Now he's got Ravazza to get through. An easy complex to get it all wrong. Has to keep him within the white lines. He's right on the limit. He somehow doesn't invalidate. Up towards the control line. Plebs will set a 1 minute 14.739 P3. He's only 6 thousandths off ACW. Is that Kush? I think is going to have another go at a flying lap here. Coming through Tamburello at full pelt. I believe Jax has just started a flying lap. I better watch this. Current PB of a 14 flat. He's 7/10 clear of the next car. Through Tamburello. Exiting turn 4. Lovely. Through that chicane. Nice and flowing. Into Villeneuve. Through turn 6. Gets a nice run on the exit. Uses all of the curve. Through Tozer. He's up by half a tenth. He's looking at a 13 if he can string this lap together. Up the hill. Around the fast right-hander of turn 8. Into turn 9. Piratella. 5th gear. Uses the inside curve. Doesn't use any of the outside curve, interestingly enough. Through Acqua Minerale. Very tough complex. He's really sending it though. Oh, that is quick. Sector 2 says he's up by just under a tenth and a half. Through Variante Alta. It's a lovely exit. Uses all the curb in 4th gear. And climbs up through the gears towards Ravazza. Turn 17. The final braking zone on the circuit. Slams it down to 4th gear. Uses all the inside curve and the outside curve. Through turn 18. Uses all the outside curve there. What a brilliant lap here from Jack. A 1 minute 13.946. That is quick. That is properly fast. Absolutely nailed it all the way round. In the meantime, ACW has jumped up to 2nd place. Pump has jumped up to 3rd with a 14.5. Plevs is ducking back in. He'll start P4. Izzat Kush P5. Hilles P6. Tinselman in 7th. We've got Roscoe and Key in P8 and 9. Power Sight will round out the top 10. And we've got Ferrari Pro and Smokey starting from the back of the field. That was a very fast, very flying lap. In fact, that he's 3.5 tenths clear of the next car. It shows you why he is Pacific Elite Series Drivers Champion. And that's it. The end of qualifying. Jack's on pole. He'll have ACW alongside. Pump and Plevs complete the second row. Then Izzat, then Hillez. Tinselman in 7th. Roscoe Arm in 8th. Then Keegan 9th. Powersight will round out the top 10. And Ferrari Pro and Smokey will start from the back of the field. Little note is that Roscoe Arm will be starting on the medium compound tyre. But I'm pretty sure he did several laps on that tyre. There you can see he's done 4 of them. So it'll be fairly well worn for the start of the race. It'll be interesting to see how he fares off the line. Oh. Rightio. We'll be loading onto the grid shortly. Drivers will be fine-tuning their strategy, fine-tuning their setup for this race. And even with a 12-car field, I'm still hopeful of seeing a very, very entertaining race. Hopefully. As I've always said, field size never ever dictates race quality. So I'm still hopeful of seeing something interesting here. Slight amount of cloud cover as well. I'm not sure how track temperatures are affected in this game. If there is anything in regard to track temps in this game. It's definitely something that drivers and teams have to deal with in real life. When cloud cover comes about, and how much that affects the track temperature. And how much of an effect it has with the adhesion between the tyres and the road. Now, let's have a look-see at who's starting on what tyre. So, top 7, all of them are starting on scrubbed, soft compound tyres from qualifying. From Jax all the way down to this man, Tinselman, in the Ferrari in P7. Roscoe Arm on the medium tyre in P8. Keeg in 9th on the soft tyre. Same with Powersight, who completes the top 10. Ferrari Pro and Smokey in P11 and 12. Both of them are starting on the mediums, so we'll have 3 cars on the mediums, 9 cars on the soft compound tyre. Not a massive mix in terms of strategy, but we have a small mix. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in regards to strategy. Rid of that tyre graphic, there we are. IDUI, fantastic. But hopefully we get a nice complete stream this time around. Hopefully. In the past few races here at Imola, there's either been technical problems on my end, where my console decided to sign out of everything during Pacific Tier 1, and that caused a massive mess. And then we had lobby glitches in the Americas series, so hopefully we don't run into any problems. If we do, and we're going to find out in about 20 seconds time when the drivers line up onto the grid. Hopefully we don't have a lobby glitch. Really hopeful of that. Hello KD, hello JBH. Yeah. Hopefully the Ferraris do well here at the home track. Would be rather fitting rather if they did well here at Imola. But here we go. We've got 10 red lights and we are underway. That was a very, very quick starting sequence. Jax leads the field through turn 1. Now down towards Tamburello. He holds the inside line. ACW can't go anywhere. He's stuck in second. A McLaren runs wide. I think that was Gilles. Coming out to turn 4. The rest of the field gets through relatively unscathed. Through Variante Villeneuve. Oh, contact between Pump and ACW. Spinning onto the gravel. He drops a whole heap of positions. He drops to the back of the field with that contact. Oh, and someone else has spun. It's the other Mercedes of Keeg. He's dropped down to 11th and spinning again is Pump. His tyres out of temperature with those spins. He has to be very, very careful. Dramatic opening sector here at Imola. Looks like the drama isn't quite over. This midfield pack is fairly bunched up. Coming out of Variante Alta. Oh dear, and I think that was Keeg who has spun. It is. Oh dear. Not having a great start. Keeg, well in fairness, neither Mercedes car has had a great start. Jax has pulled away. He's got a 2.2 second margin. After one lap, he's got a 2-second lead. There he is, here's Plebs. ACW right behind. Then Isaac Kush in 4th. Tinselman in 5th. And we got Gilles in P6, Roscoe Arm in 7th. And it's a healthy margin between him and Powersight in P8. Oh, and off the circuit is Tinselman. A Ferrari off the racetrack. It comes back on. Losing a few positions in the process. Has to be very careful. Those tyres won't feel great. He's done a good job. He's kept that car straight. Going through Piratella. Nice and careful. Not making any mistakes here. Now he just needs to gather up his thoughts. Try and retake those lost positions. His first target is Roscoe Arm. Roscoe Arm, he's on the medium tyre. As Izzat has left the session. Oh dear. Well, he's going to be a sitting duck with that, I think it's 80 rated AI. There goes Gilles. Powers through into 4th place. Here comes Roscoe Arm. See how much slower the AI is in comparison to the player cars. It's getting absolutely swamped. Hopefully Izzat will be able to rejoin soon. Get on with his race. We had some drama on the opening lap. Been fairly timid on the second lap. Oh, a lot of cutting there from Tinselman, my goodness. Coming through Tozer, he's ghosting through Izzat's car. Into P6 he goes. Already the gap's starting to spread out here at Imola. Through turns 12 and 13. It's a short blast towards Variante Alta. ACW, he needs to stay within a second of Plebs. He's hovering at about 8 tenths. You can't let him go. Ordered that he stays within DRS range. Through Ravazza. Through turn 18. All of the curve on the exit. Jack setting another fastest lap with a 1 minute 17.289. ACW closing in with the power of DRS. Gilles in a bit of trouble as Roscoe Arm goes through with the power of DRS. He's into 4th. A simple move. Roscoe Arm tries to claw his way towards the top 3 as Izzat has left again. And he's having connection difficulties at the moment. Never a great thing to see. I know full well how frustrating that can be. I experienced it on Monday. ACW doing a good job keeping within that 1 second range as Izzat's AI drops to 8 behind Powersight. The chicane Gilles being passed by Tinselman. A very interesting spot as well. That was at turns 12 and 13 as Izzat rejoins the session. Sector 3 yellows. That is smoky. Oh, keep control of the car. Be very careful. It's going. Here comes Ferrari Pro. They're side by side through turn 16. Smokey has the inside line. I think he's backed off though. Oh, not quite. Still has the inside line. The Ferrari Pro swoops in and takes that 9th place. And here comes Smokey with DRS. Pulls out of the slipstream and gets the position back. Simple move. He's back into P9. Hilles on the back of Tinselman. Not much separating the two. As they come through turn 8 and in towards turn 9, Curatella. Can't really do much through this section. Basically, all you can do is not make that. Not do that. Not make any mistakes. Otherwise, you just lose time to the car in front. You really can't afford that here. DRS is incredibly powerful, and I think he's out of DRS range. He's a fair way behind Tinselman now. We'll see in just a moment. Oh, he's got it. You're kidding. He must have been just within a second. He blows back in on the Ferrari driver. Must feel very fortunate that he got DRS. Is that getting by Power Sight? Back behind the wheel of his Red Bull. Make his charge towards the group in front. Small group of Hilles, Tinselman and Roscoe, who isn't too far in front of these two, as Smokey has crashed out. Our first retirement of the race. You can see there he's on the racing line. So crashing at Tamburello. Seen that a few times in league races here. So we're now down to 11 cars. That's 6 of 32 as well. What do the soft runners do? I guess they pit. One way to find out. Yep. In comes Jax. Stopping well before the speed limiter line. He doesn't want to get a 5 second. Roscoe stays out. Jack's moving on to the medium tyres. Plevs, it's a set of mediums too. Nice little pit lane glitch there. Soft tyres for Tinselman. Interesting choice. I like the aggressiveness. Power Sight set of mediums going on his car. Ferrari Pro stays out as well. Pump into the pits. A set of hard tyres awaiting him. He leaves the pit lane. Keeg is in too. Don't think he'll get a double stack. Oh no, he will. A small double stack. Maybe cost him a second. Not that it matters. Still just interesting to see it. He was still held up a little bit. Right. So this has shaken up the order just a little bit. Roscoe at the top, followed by Jax and Plevs. ACW in 4th. Ferrari Pro deciding to stay out. He's in 5th, just in front of his teammate, who was pitted onto the soft tyre. Tinselman going on a slightly more aggressive strategy. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how it pays off for him. If it pays off for him. And Hilles in P7. Oh, what's going on here? Izzat has made a mistake. Feel the muck on his tyres. He's gone off the road at Aqua Minerale. He's still running. That's the main thing. Fortunately for all of us here that are still watching, At least we got the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to look forward to. A brand new race at Jeddah. We had a very interesting qualifying session. A qualifying session that would rival Monaco's in many ways. It was very intense, very fast as well. Seeing the drivers go right up against the walls like that, it was very entertaining. Lewis Hamilton claiming pole, and Mercedes won too. And the mistake from Max Verstappen, he was purple by what, 3/10 to the middle sector, I think? And then made a massive mistake at turn 27, outbraking himself. Then he tried to save the lap, so he tried to take the hairpin as quick as he could. The rear right tyre went straight into the wall. I haven't seen too many reports about any gearbox or engine damage, so hopefully for Red Bull's sake, they don't have any grid penalties. I suppose we'll find out in a few hours' time if they do or not. It could be a similar scenario to what we saw at Monaco with Charles Leclerc, with them going out with a damaged car that would eventually expire during the race, or in Charles' case, on the formation lap. So. Oh, spinning! ACW! Mate! Oh dear. Well, he's just dropped down to 7th with that mistake. That's a bit embarrassing. That was... Oh no, you're not allowed to do that. You're staying in P7. You stay behind. You're not overtaking anybody. You have to stay there. So Roscoe Arm controlling the field. Coming out of Ravazza, he's backing everybody up, and now he goes. Waited right to the last moment, and Plebs has got a run on Jax. We're back on the green flag racing here at Imola. Plebs, he's sitting in the slipstream. He's not able to close in any more than that, though, as ACW moves into 6th place, overtaking Gilles on the restart. Through Tamburello. On turn 4, Tinselman overtakes Ferrari Pro, and we got Palasight off the racetrack at Tamburello. He gets going again, but he's a long way behind. Roscoe Arm. Here's Jax right on his gearbox, heading up the hill towards Piratella. As Isaac Kush gets by Ferrari Pro. Down the hill towards Aqua Minerale. Jax is sort of stuck behind for now. Can't do much through here. Can't even do much at the chicane coming up. Everingham Alta. Really an overtaking spot. Really using all of the curbs, jumping over them, touring car style. Down the hill towards Ravazza. Or deep on the brakes, almost hits them, has to straighten up the car to avoid hitting Roscoe Arm there. Just showing how much deeper he could go on the brakes on those fresher tyres. He's got so much more speed, so much more confidence on those tyres. Towards Tamburello as Isaac gets by Gilles. Fairly simple move there. Pump has overtaken Ferrari Pro as well. Ferrari Pro being hindered with those technical problems with the pedals. He's dropping down. Teams is about to get him as well down the inside. Villeneuve, this is tight there, side by side, he gets through. ACW has overtaken Tinselman as well, taking 4th place. Jack still on the back of Roscoe Arm. Though he will get a massive helping hand on the next lap. DRS will be enabled. Actually, he won't be able to use that until lap 12, as there's only one DRS zone. He's on the ground, touching, pushing, into the wall goes Jax. Oh my goodness, the top two, the leaders, they make contact on the straightaway of all places. And Jax goes into the wall. Oh my goodness. And Jack's fallen to 8th place. He's got wing damage. He'll have to pit. But Roscoe Arm brutally shutting the door while Jax was trying to get alongside. And Jax pays the ultimate price. I'm sure he won't be impressed by that. Not at all. I certainly wouldn't be. He was pushed right off there. Door completely shut. This Gilles. Oh, hello, it's Izzat. He is spun. He's spun at Tamburello. He gets going. Down in 9th. He's now 5 seconds behind. Plez now on the back of Roscoe. Through Piratella, then down the hill towards Acqua Minerale. Jack's just leaving the pits now. It's a double stack, it seems, at Alpine to just rub a bit of salt into the wound. Then they've got a Constructors' Championship to fight as well with Aston Martin. They can grab quite a lot of points against their rival, as neither Aston is here tonight. Plebs, he'll get DRS. He's within half a second of Roscoe. See how rough Roscoe is here. Leaves the door wide open for Plebs. Here comes ACW to follow through as well as Roscoe drops to 3rd. Coming out of Tamburello now. Plebs leading the field. A half-second lead over ACW. Through Villeneuve. And up the hill towards the hairpin of Toza. Gap increased just steadily there to 0.6 of a second. Tenselman is on the back of this too. On those soft tyres. Showing the nose there. Doesn't go for a move. Ferrari Pro. He's coming out of the pits too. He might have got damage at some point. Had to pit in, get it repaired. He's got a fresh set of tyres on the car. Fresh set of mediums. Trying to take advantage here. He's on better tyres, fresher tyres, softer tyres. Needs to get by and try and attack the leaders. He's 0.6 behind. Can he get by Roscoe? He's using up his overtake. Roscoe doesn't have any DRS, it seems. Here we go, through turn 1. Fairly simple move. He goes into 3rd. 1.3 seconds separate him in 2nd place, which is ACW. Six tenths. Separating the leaders at the moment. Plebs holding his ground. ACW keeping up. Hasn't made any inroads just yet. All it takes is one mistake and he's well in the fight as Jack. He sets fastest lap with 1 minute 16.777. He's trying to make up for lost time and positions after an incident between him and Roscoe. Down towards Ravazza. Oh, we have a safety car. Izzat is out of the race. Right on board with Ferrari Pro. Plebs a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Very easy to do. It seems that Izzat's car has despawned. He's lost control somewhere around here. Saw it several times in the America Series. Hard tyres for Tenselman. Soft tyres for Roscoe. Set of mediums for ACW and Plebs. The Plebs has got a 5-second time penalty. Coming out of the pits. This has saved Jack and Powersight as well. They've been hampered over the past few laps. They'll be able to catch up now. Try and make some moves. Try and get towards the front. Both Red Bulls are out of the race. From 12, we're down to 10. We still have quite a few laps to go. We're not even at the halfway mark as Jack goes into the pits again. A set of medium tyres going onto the car. Those are old mediums as well. Those are 4-lap old mediums. Remember, you've only got 2 sets of mediums available to you for the race. You've got the set available to you by default for the race. In the set you get in qualifying. So he'll probably go back in, put on the previous set of mediums. Just going to do a few laps maybe on these, just to save the tyre life of the other compounds, as Gilles gets a 5-second penalty, a severe collision with Keeg. I have a feeling that's probably the other way round, considering Keeg is the car behind. So there's Ferrari Pro weaving up his tyres, while everybody else is doing a pretty solid Kimi Raikkonen impression. I think as well, next round will be Kimi's final race. That'll be quite the amazing moment to see the great Finn hang up his racing helmet for good. Of course, this isn't the first time Kimi stepped away from the sport. He did it all the way back at the end of 2009. Went off to do a whole heap of stuff, including NASCAR and the World Rally Championship. And he came back with Lotus in 2012. They made a deal with him because Lotus thought that Kimi was a washed-up racer. They didn't think he was any good anymore with having 3 years out of the sport. They offered him a deal of €50,000 per point he scored over the championship. He ended up finishing third in the championship with a win at Abu Dhabi. Can't remember how many points he scored. He scored quite a few. And it sent Lotus bankrupt. To this day, Lotus still owe Kimi money because of that. But Kimi doesn't care. Kimi never cares. An emotional time for a lot of Kimi fans. I wonder if Kimi himself will get emotional about it. Probably not. Going back on the green flag racing? Yes, no, maybe? Yes. Good. Thumbs up. Safety car in this lap. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a emotional time for a lot of Kimi fans. Okay, then. See the mighty Kimi leave the sport. Right, plebs. Getting ready. Set off. Get us back on the green flag racing. ACW, you need to get a bit closer than that, buddy. Don't want to let Plebs get away. Plebs is taking his time, getting his temperature up. And there he goes. ACW caught nothing. Look at the gap. Half a second. Almost 6/10. Oh, hello. We've got a shake-up here in the lower order as drivers shuffle about, trying to find a bit of racetrack to race on. A big slipstream down towards Tamburello. Will we see any moves here? Oh, as Ferrari Pro has a look. Can't really go for the move. As Jax goes round the outside of turn 2. What a move from our driver's champion. Oh, and here comes Powerslide. He goes into the back. He goes into the wall. And somehow he's not out of the race. You're kidding. So Ferrari Pro went awfully slowly as Jax goes around Keeg Dog. He'll pass Pump in a minute as Pump made a mistake at Toza. Oh, that's tight. Up the hill towards Piratella. Here comes Jax down the inside of turn 9. They make contact down the hill towards Aqua Minerale. Roscoe has moved into third place. Through Aqua Minerale, Jax is into P6. Ooh, Tinselman, Roscoe side by side. Roscoe this time staying as far left as possible. Tinselman fighting down the inside of the chicane. He moves into third. Roscoe though takes it back. He's back into third place. Down towards Ravazza. Gilles trying to make a move as well. He's right on the back of the Ferrari heading into Ravazza. Contact as Gilles is off the road. So is Pump. Both drivers going off there. The same corner. Tinselman loses control. So does Pump. They're sliding about on the gravel. Here comes Jax on the back of Gilles. Heading into Tamburello. Not quite close enough to make a move as Pump goes into the pit lane. cops a 5-second penalty to boot. And Kawasaki goes in too. Ooh, tried to have a look there at Variante Villeneuve. Couldn't really make a move there though. Up the hill towards Tozer. Again, looking left and right. Trying to find a way past the McLaren. Just unable to do so. Oh, he lost control. Managed to gather it back up though. My goodness. His heart would have leapt into his mouth with that. He managed to gather it back up quite well. He hasn't lost too much time either as Gilles runs wide at turn 13. Uses all of the curb on the inside of the left-hander. Tenselman a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He's down in 8th place. A long way behind after going off here at Ravazza. I believe he did get a helping hand into the gravel trap as DRS is enabled. Jax, he won't have any DRS just yet. So if he wants to pass, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. And here he comes. Going to try and look around the outside, but Gilles in the McLaren, matching his straight line speed into the chicane. Gilles, not a great run compared to Jax. But Jax just can't get by. He's stuck behind the McLaren at the moment. Up towards Tozer, turn 7. Still just following him. Trying to force Gilles into some sort of mistake. Up towards Piratella. Oh, gets right up to his rear diffuser there. Tight stuff. Down the hill through Aqua Minerale. Through turns 12 and 13. Up the hill towards Variante Alta. I'll get it done. See, they're using all of the curve. Keeping it in 4th gear, interestingly enough. See, a fair few drivers use 3rd gear through there, but Jax does it a bit differently. Keeps it in 4th. Allows him to floor it on the exit. Find the traction he needs as he gets a 3-second time penalty at the exit of turn 18. Here he comes. There's not much Gilles can do about it. Moves into 4th place with authority there. Swooping across Gilles' front nose. Exit in turn 4, using all the curves, using up a bit of battery too. There's Roscoe Arm just in front. These two came together earlier. And Jax got forced into the wall. Jax is closing in. And by a lot, he is closing in. Roscoe, he's on soft compound tyres. But Jax has got all that raw speed underneath him at the moment. And he's probably in angry mode as well after what happened earlier. So he's probably driving pretty hard right now. 1 second separates the two as they head into Ravazza. See, they're using all of the curb there. Maximising the full width of the circuit. And Jax, fastest lap, 1 minute 16.340. Through Tamburello. Turn 2, 3, then turn 4, 6th gear. Keeg overtakes Ferrari Pro, moves into P6. Now Jax is within a second of the Haas driver. Up towards Piratella. I have to say, after all I've seen so far in this championship, I can say that the Alpines are pretty decent lawnmowers, from what I've seen. And they're also pretty bloody strong. Seen 2 crashes involving Alpines. Alpine smash into the barrier. Somehow, they've made it out. Still operating. Not retired out of the race. And here we go. Jax is within half a second of Roscoe Arm. Uses up his DRS. Doesn't use any battery though. tell from the orange bar on the steering wheel. If he was using his battery, it would be green. Stays behind. Oh, a bit of an awkward run there through turn 4. Bit too narrow at the entry. Compromised his line a little bit. Keeg and Ferrari Pro also battling. Keeg hanging on. And he's currently got his wing mirrors full of red at the moment. Jack's within 4/10 through Aqua Minerale. Up the hill towards Alta. This is where these two came together. Came together a bit earlier. Bit sideways at the exit of the chicane. 3/10, 2.5 into Ravazza. Nice run. Needs a good exit here. Gets one. Roscoe arm wasn't too bad either, but Jax will have DRS. Rolls alongside Roscoe arm. He's going to keep him narrow. Towards Tamburello, Jax moves back into 3rd place. His next target will be ACW and Plebs. Currently 1st and 2nd. Next battle we got Keeg and Ferrari Pro. Keeg hanging on. See both drivers have a flashing red light on the back of the car, so they're both low on battery. Using up a lot of resources to keep each other at bay. Heading up towards Piratella, the gap is 4/10 of a second. Down the hill towards Aqua Minerale. Key gets a pretty good run. Opens up the gap. Over the crest towards Variante Alta. Ferrari Pro, so long as he stays within a second of the car in front, should be able to keep himself in this fight. Hopefully try and force Keeg into some sort of mistake. From Keeg's point of view, he needs to keep his head down. Just keep doing what he's doing. The Ferrari Pro has made a colossal mistake. Oh, he shut DRS for some reason. He's reopened it now. Probably those pedal gremlins, I'm guessing, creeping in. That's why he's lost so much time. Jax, he's now closed in on ACW, half a second separating P2 and 3. Roscoe Arm isn't too far behind. I don't know if Roscoe Arm can get to the end of those tyres either, so I reckon he's got one more pit stop to do. Quite surprised if he does make it. Be a nice learning experience for me. Nice little note to write down on what you can do here at the circuit. Jax, well within DRS range. I don't think he's close enough to attack just yet. See what he does. He's using up his overtake. Just a little bit there on corner exit. There's DRS, and look at him close in. Look at the overspeed he's got. ACW defends the inside line, and he can do nothing to keep Jax at bay. Gets him before the braking zone. Jax moves into P2. The next car is Plebs, our race leader. He has to close in by 1.2 seconds. And at the rate he's going, it should be relatively easy. Up the hill towards turn 9. Gap still hovering at about 1.2. Plebs doing all he can at the moment. Try and keep the Alpine at bay. Pretty good middle sector from Plebs. Pretty much matched Jack. You see there at the exit of Variante Alta though, he's closed in by about a 10.5. So Jax just gets superb acceleration out of that tight chicane of turns 14 and 15. Out of turn 18, he might be within DRS range. Let's see. The answer is no. He doesn't have DRS just yet. But he is within a second. As of right now, he's within a second. Down towards Tamburello. Gets on the brakes at the 50 board. Chucks it through the chicane. Comes out to turn 4. The gap closes a bit more. Gap is 0.8 of a second. Through Villeneuve. Still at about 0.8. Through Toza. Really not much Plebs can do here. See the flashing red light at the back of the car. He's running low on battery. Got about a lap extra worth of fuel as well, as you can see in the bottom right. You got the P1 and the little plus 0.93 right underneath that. That's how much extra fuel he's got. And that is Tinselman. He has spun out at the exit of Villeneuve. He's lost a whole heap of time. He hasn't lost any positions, I believe. He was an 8th when he spun. And he's still an 8th. So no harm, no foul. Here comes Jack. DRS. Sitting in the slipstream, not even using any battery. Plebs opens up the inside. Through goes Jax. Back into the lead. Lap 26 of 32. Jax retakes the lead. Nothing but clear track in front of him. With all the clear air in the world, he'll be entitled to push. And build up that margin between himself and Plebs. He does have a bit of an interesting penalty scenario though, with a total of 9 seconds next to his name. Plebs, the next car, has 5. ACW in third has none. So an extra variable here in the mix and may determine this result here at Imola. We've seen how quick Jack has been. Going to push as hard as he can to try and open up that margin. Plebs is going to do all he can to keep within it. ACW, he'll be doing all he can to drive as quickly as possible without getting any warnings. Lap 27 of 32. We have 6 laps to go. Plebs can't close in too much. Power of DRS. Coming out of Tamburello, the gap is still about 7/10. This is where Jax needs to pull away. Sort of the end of the first sector and through this middle sector. Needs to put the hammer down, try and build up a margin. Tinselman is out of the race. He's just crashed out at Ravazza, and we have another safety car. There he is there. He's lost control at turn 18. He's our third retirement. We're down to 9 cars. And this affects the penalties quite a bit more. Now what does Plebs do here? He got a 5-second penalty for speeding. Does he try and serve it? Oh, Jax is going in too. What about ACW? He goes into the pits. Roscoe goes into the pits. A lot of drivers going in. All of them, I imagine, will be going onto the soft tyre. Soft tyres going on. 5-second penalty being served there for Plebs. So he'll drop behind ACW, who is now in prime position to take this race. Jack with 9 seconds worth of penalties. There's no way he can win this unless something dramatic happens. And I don't think he'll be able to get, well, maybe he can get 1 removed. In this sort of position, I think ACW is holding all the cards. Both McLarens and P4 and 5, they don't have any penalties either, but they've got a Haas sitting right in front of them as Tenselman has left the session. Roscoe Arm currently in P3 with 6 seconds worth of penalties. Not sure what his agenda is going to be. We saw how aggressive he was with Jax. Will he try and hang on to that P3, or will he leave the door open for the McLaren boys to go through? I guess only time will tell. Keegan P6 with 3 seconds. Ferrari Pro in 7th with no penalties. This might be a half-decent result for Ferrari Pro, so long as he keeps out of trouble. The Pump in P8, he's got a lot of catching up to do, and even more so for Powerside in P9. The fact that both Alpines are still running is quite remarkable. So we're going to be under safety car for a few laps, probably get back on the green flag racing at lap 30. That will give us 3 laps to go, which will probably mean we won't have any DRS to try and make moves. So if you want to try and make a move, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Now just a long wait, I suppose, until we go back on the green flag running. Still be a fairly nice points haul for Alpine as well, for the sake of the Constructors' Championship. They'll put themselves into the lead of the Constructors heading into the final round. And if no Aston Martin turns up at Interlagos, then Alpine will be Constructors' Champions. Which will make it a double championship for Jax in the Elite Series. I'm sure he would like that very much after quite the dominating season here in the Elite Series. We're gonna do another lap, right? So we're not going to go back on the green flag running on lap 30. We're going to do it on lap 31. That will give us 2 laps to sort this out. Unless it's a late dive into the pits from the safety car. And I doubt that. He's coming, there he is. Now, surely the safety car stays out. It does. Thank goodness. And a ridiculously late call from the safety car. Right, so lap 30 to 32. We'll do one more lap. You can see Jax backing off quite a bit there. Green light coming up on top of the safety car. Flashing back to yellow now. And this puts Jax in a bit of a worse position. With less green flag running, there's less time to try and gap the field with his 9 seconds worth of penalties. I have a pretty decent idea of what his game plan is going to be. That is, do 2 quali laps. Go as fast as you humanly can. See how far you can get up the totem pole. As it were. Very small totem pole with only 9 cars left. But it's a totem pole nonetheless. Yeah, safety cars do kill a bit of the fun. But they lead to some pretty dramatic endings at times. It would be nicer with a bigger field with this sort of scenario. would create a fair bit of drama with drivers desperately going for any and every position that they can go for. We'll still have the same thing here, but it's only between 9 drivers. Right. Jax controls the field. Safety car will duck back into the pit lane. Jax, he's getting ready to go. And ACW again caught napping. He is already 6/10 behind Jax. We begin lap 31 of 32 here at Imola. Jax heading down towards the Tamburello chicane. Push as hard as he can as Hillers moves into 4th. The two McLarens are battling as Roscoe and ACW pull away. Plebs looking down the inside. Oh, can't get it done though. Oh, that was close. Very aggressive stuff from both of them. Into Tozer. A big send from Plebs. But Hillers keeps 4th place. And they've lost about 1.5 seconds, maybe 1.3 seconds to Roscoe in P3. CW in 2nd. The gap has increased to 1.3 seconds. Jack is driving as fast as he can. He's going to try and snag fastest lap as well at the end of the race, I reckon, as Plebs gets a 3-second time penalty. He's now on the back foot compared to his teammate, but he's not giving up, looking around the outside. Can't get it done there. Hillers hangs on to 4th. As Jack sets fastest lap, 1 minute 14.977. This is the final lap here at Imola, and the McLaren drivers are at it. Through turn 1, towards Tamburello. Plevs looking around the outside, can't get it done. He's stuck behind Hillers, who goes deep through Tamburello. Plevs right on his gearbox as they head towards Variante Villeneuve for the final time. Through the chicane. Plevs can't get close enough. Stays behind his teammate. Through Tozer. Then up the hill. Very interesting to see who finishes where according to penalties. Hillers still hanging on. Roscoe on the back of ACW. ACW not fighting hard though. He wants to just get to the end as Keeg has made a mistake at Acqua Minerale. But Jack, he's driven as fast as he humanly could on these 2 laps. He's pulled out a whopping 2.9 second margin. Make that 3 seconds. Jax will cross the line in 1st, but at the end of the day, ACW will claim the win here at Imola. Hillers will finish in 2nd. Ferrari Pro finishes on the podium. A Ferrari finishes on the podium. He had no penalties next to his name, and he jumps up to 3rd. How about that? He had pedal issues. He commented that at the beginning of the stream. He had pedal issues for this race. Final safety car and him getting no penalties has saved him. Fair enough. He's given driver of the day. There we are. ACW. This will be his first win of the season. P2 will go to Hillers. P3 go to Ferrari Pro. And where did Jack end up finishing, out of curiosity? P5, that's a pretty respectable effort there. Pump will end up finishing 4th. He got no penalties too at the end, but Jack's finishing P5 there. Solid effort. Plebs P6, Roscoe in 7th, Powerside in 8th, Keegan 9th, our final finisher. Our retirees, Tinselman, Isaac, Kush, though he's shown 20 laps down for some reason. Smokey, not finisher as well. But there we are. ACW from Hilles and Ferrari Pro. Didn't expect that to be a podium here at Imola, but the drama at the final safety car period provided us with a unique finish. Of course, there are only provisional results. We'll wait until further steward intervention. There's probably a few things that will be reported from this one, I have a feeling. And there we are. One complete stream here at Imola. I'm happy about that, at the very least. Just one nice complete stream compared to what happened in Pacific Tier 1 and America Series. Well, there we are. An interesting race with an interesting finish. And I think everyone, with the race finally finished, we can wrap up the stream. Tune in next week, next Tuesday to be exact, as the Pacific Series will begin the final week of racing here on Race Spec Esports. But for Pacific Elite, we'll have to wait until next Sunday. And of course, we've got a lot of other things to look forward to tonight, including the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Should be an interesting watch at that brand new racetrack. But until next time, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you for round 15, the final round of the championship at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Personal favourite of mine. Hope to see you all there, but until then, it's goodbye.